Welcome to the broadcast and live stream of Moonshot Radio and TV. Moonshot Radio and TV is generously sponsored by the Learning Alliance. And here's your host, Dr. Nivea Torres.
Greetings and welcome to another edition of Moonshot Radio, where every moment is an opportunity to learn. I'm your host, Nivea Torres, Executive Director of the Kindergarten Readiness Collaborative, also known as KRC. Our vision is that all children in Indian River County will be ready for kindergarten. We proudly partner with the Moonshot Moment, who is transforming the next generation in Indian River County by having 90% of all students reading on grade level by the third grade. Today, we have a special treat for you. Joining me today is Valerie Doherty. Valerie is a children's book author. I'm so excited to have you here today, Valerie. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm so delighted to be here with you.
Valerie, talk to us a little bit about your journey as a writer. I understand you're a speech pathologist by trade. So how did you combine that with writing?
Well, I had a professional interest for a very long time in language and literacy development, Nivea, and then I my own training in speech path, but I went back to school to get my early childhood credential as well. And I worked a lot with young children throughout the course of my career. And then I used books a lot with the kids, and they so enjoyed it. And then I thought I wanted to write.
Well, I believe your experience has really influenced your style. You have a very unique style of writing, and you seem to use rhyme and rhythm in your books and in your stories. Is there a particular reason for that?
Do you know, a lot of children's books are written in rhyme and rhythm, and it's playful for the kids, and there is some rationale to it, that they learn patterns through rhyme. And I, as a child, grew up on Dr. Seuss. My parents read a lot to me, and I thought it was joyful and fun, and so I wanted to give that a try in my own writing.
Well, we certainly can see that joy that emanates from your books, Valerie, and also from the illustrations. Talk to us a little bit about how the stories come to life with the illustrations and the illustrators for your books.
I had an opportunity to see some of Brenda's work. Brenda Higgins is the illustrator of these last two books that we've written together. And I had seen Brenda's work in some illustrators and writers groups online, and I contacted her, and she had the time, and I thought it was a very good fit for the first one that we did together. And we talked about the characters, and it was a collaborative effort, and she's a joy to work with. So we've found a good fit in each other, I believe.
Well, the illustrations are beautiful, and Brenda's work really comes to life through the pictures. Valerie, you mentioned that you work with Brenda on these last two books. How many books have you published, and what is the title of your first children's book?
You know, I went to school at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, and one of their initiatives was, or is, early childhood. They're very devoted to that mission. And so my school is football. They're heavily invested in football there, and I'm a football fan as well. So my first one was Husker Game Day, and that came out in 2011.
Okay, so for folks who are keeping track of your books, we'll make sure that we keep that name in line. And I don't want to sidetrack here, but if you're a football fan, I'm sure that you had a very busy weekend, Valerie, keeping track of all the football activity that was taking place this past weekend.
That's right.
Valerie, I want to ask you specifically about the two titles that you shared with me, and the books are just absolutely beautiful. The first one is Wonderful Things. Talk to us a little bit about Wonderful Things. When I read this book, I thought it was a book that would be so appropriate for babies and for little ones. Again, the language is very simple. There's rhyme and rhythm. What is the intent with this book?
It's true. We, during the pandemic, although we had worked on this one before, Brenda and I had a vision that we wanted to do something for the youngest readers and listeners, rather. And we had seen something during the pandemic about how a physician had wanted books for the NICU unit. And this particular book, Wonderful Things, came out in the summer. And so we were almost finished, but I had told Brenda that we wanted something soothing and easy language that would hopefully be read, for a bedtime or nap time text. So we had a lot of fun with this one. It was different than the first one, and the tone is quite a bit different, really, as like I said, as a nap or bedtime book for the very youngest.
I absolutely love this book, and I don't mean to put you on the spot, Valerie, but if there were a particular page or two that you could reference or that you could read to us, that I know that would be a treat for our viewers and our listeners. Okay. Who just love books and they love story time.
Yeah, I really like the beginning. So I thought the colors, Brenda and I talked about it quite a bit with the colors. So it starts off as pink and blue skies, birds and butterflies, falling white snow, lullabies sung low, blue lakes for toes, new puppies with bows. And then it goes on, and it's a little bit different than a beginning, middle, and end, but it's meant to be, and we think it could be set to song readily enough at some point, but that's how it goes. And then it ends with the last page here. Sorry, as I get to it. It's a little animal, and good night, sweet dreams, and that's how it ends.
Definitely a beautiful, beautiful book for lullaby, for just babies, for newborns, for toddlers. I just think it's magical, Valerie. And then we move on to The Big City Dance, which is the other book that you so kindly and generously shared with me. And tell us a little bit about the premise of this book.
Well, this was, we wanted something that was for the 3 and up crowd, and we did decide to do this one in rhyme and rhythm. And it started off, the whole premise is that it's a mouse that lives in the country, and he wants a sense of adventure and something different in his life. And then I did really want to incorporate some movement through this, and I think it does with the dance piece, and also addresses some things multiculturally with dance. And so that was the whole thought. And there are themes of friendship and approaching new situations, and that was my intent with the message without being too heavy-handed.
I love that you mentioned that there was movement as part of the story itself, because especially now where we're looking for books that keep our little ones active at home, I thought that was a very engaging exercise. We're going to take a break, Valerie, to hear from our sponsors. But when we come back, maybe you can, as a treat, read a little bit from The Big Dance for us. So we will be right back.
10, thanks. 9, 8.
Why did the countdown stop? Because it's the countdown to Buzz TV channel 1098, Comcast Xfinity, and it's here. Local content for Sebastian Vero and Fort Pierce. Tune in for local info, happenings, and fun, including all the great Planet Vero TV shows from 8 to 10 a.m. and p.m. Dial in channel 1098 for Buzz TV on your Comcast Xfinity box and discover what the buzz is all about.
The Kindergarten Readiness Collaborative, our vision is for every parent, regardless of income or zip code, to have the knowledge and tools they need to raise healthy children that are prepared for kindergarten. Our mission is to support our partners in developing a high-quality early childhood system that is family-centered. Our outreach and parent engagement specialists connect with families and build trusted relationships. KRC has chosen Fellsmere and Gifford as our two focus areas in Indian River County. Our Fellsmere office is located downtown in the City Annex, and our new Gifford office is located within Victory Park Apartments. Our administrative offices are now located adjacent to Healthy Start and Treasure Coast Community Health in Vero Beach. The Kindergarten Readiness Collaborative, developing a high-quality early childhood system for all children in Indian River County.
Dr. Robert Reinauer of New Vision Eye Center is a fellowship-trained retina surgeon. He provides the very best care for patients needing treatment for dry and wet macular degeneration and diabetic eye care, as well as surgical care of the retina, including retinal detachments and the removal of floaters, providing world-class eye care on the Treasure Coast. Call 772-257-8700 or visit newvisioneyecenter.com.
You've invested in beautiful natural stone floors like travertine or polished marble, or maybe your home has Mexican tile or terrazzo. It's important to maintain the beauty with maintenance performed by experts like Ace Marble Restoration. Residential and commercial service, Ace Marble's highly trained staff has been bringing out the natural beauty in homes throughout the Treasure Coast for nearly 2 decades. Stone countertops and ceramic tile and grout restoration. Call Ace Marble at 772-589-3552 or visit acemarble.com.
Waves Auto Spa, known as Vero's fastest and finest. A car wash known for their quality equipment and attention to detail by a friendly and courteous staff. Waves offers soft cloth technology, and a top-notch detail center will help preserve the value of your car. Waves now offers windshield chip repair, and in most cases, it doesn't cost you a dime. Spend less time and get a better quality experience for you and your car at Waves Auto Spa, US 1 Vero Beach, across from Kmart Plaza. Open 7 days a week.
If you want a home that has the sophisticated style of the coast, come to Sunshine Furniture during the Tommy Bahama and Lexington half-price fall sale event. Now until September 30th, you save 50% on all bedroom, dining room, media, office, and occasional furniture with fresh finishes and rich textures that are made from materials that reflect the essence of coastal living. We're also having a showroom clearance on selected indoor and outdoor sofas, chairs, recliners, and dining sets from Brown Jordan, Four Seasons, Capri, and Best. And all pictures, lamps, and accessories are half off. Come to Sunshine Furniture now during the Tommy Bahama and Lexington half-price fall sales event. Sunshine Furniture, $12.95 US 1 in Vero Beach, next to Planet Fitness. Don't forget to visit our outlet and sales store just across the street. Visit our website at sunshinefurniturecasual.com.
We're back to Moonshot Radio, where every moment is an opportunity to learn. I'm your host, Nivea Torres, Executive Director of KRC. And joining me today is children's book author Valerie Doherty. Valerie, welcome back.
Thank you so much. I want to go to the beach now. I saw all those pretty pictures of the beach.
It's beautiful here in Vero Beach, Valerie. Valerie, right before the break, you were introducing us to this beautiful children's book, The Big City Dance. Mm-hmm. Talk to us a little bit about Mo Doodle, and maybe there's something that you can read to us from the book.
Sure. I think I had an opportunity to see one of your other shows when Miss Nikki was talking about how much mileage one can get out of a book before you just jump right in. And so I heard her talk about the covers and how to talk about the characters. And so all of those things on prediction can be setting the scene prior to reading. So we had the storyline is really on the back, and it mentions how this country mouse is wanting to move to the big city in search of a little bit of excitement and adventure. But he runs into a bit of trouble, and then I decided that I wanted to do it in rhyme and rhythm because of the things that I mentioned. It's playful with sound. And in this book, we always thought we wanted to capture a sense of whimsy with it. So that's pretty much the storyline there. And, prior to reading, you can talk to the kids about, building size and where do you think this might take place. And I've used so much children's literature throughout the course of a career because it just does so many things. You can incorporate questions and comprehension and imagination and prediction and problem solving, all those things.
Valerie, I'm glad that you mentioned, and thank you for listening to our previous episodes of Moonshot Radio and to Miss Nikki. I'm glad you mentioned that because one of the things I really enjoyed about this particular book is the quick tips for read aloud time that you have in the front of the book. And for parents, for educators, this is such a great resource. And you touched a little bit about that on discussing the pictures and just really getting ready for reading. And I also like your tip about using a variety of voices to really make the characters come to life.
And ultimately, you want to foster a love of reading for the kids. And I honestly believe it's the most powerful thing that parents or caregivers or grown-ups in the kids' life can do for them. And you want it to be a joyful experience and not work. And I think I did hear that Miss Nikki too, you have to ham it up a bit, for the kids. They like that and they laugh and that's what you want is that engagement. So at any rate, I did put it at the beginning and certainly, I think she mentioned too, and it really struck a note for me is that, you want the kids to be involved in some book selection too, and it shouldn't be a painful experience. It should be joyful for them. And also, there isn't one right way to do it. But some families I've watched some excellent readings when parents when I was working in early intervention, and they are terrific. The silliness of it, and they'd ask the right questions, and they'd have a sense of suspense built in before they turned the page, and that's what we did or tried to do in some of this book as well. That there's some prediction that's built into it.
So many wonderful tips for parents that you're sharing, Valerie, from pictures to using voices to allowing kids to pick their books and ultimately knowing that there's no right or wrong way to do it. The important thing is that you're constantly building on vocabulary and language development with your little ones. Valerie, I have to ask you, what is next?
I think we're talking about another adventure for this particular character. It's in the works, and then we have a standalone that we're doing about a duck, and then we had talked about doing some board books because we feel so strongly about the the youngest and the babies getting some work. So we've got a few things out ahead of us, and we're hopeful we'll have something out maybe next year. And it's fun. I'll just have to say that I'm having a great time. So I hope Brenda is too. So we're enjoying working together.
I'm sure she is, Valerie. Valerie, where do you get the inspirations from your stories? I mean, you talked a little bit about your career and early childhood development. I'm just intrigued, and now you're thinking about a story about a duck. So where does all this come from?
We're both Brenda and I are animal lovers, and I had the opportunity when I was practicing. I read a lot of children's lit, and I still read a lot of children's lit. I get a lot of ideas from the books that I read, and I'm in quite a few online writers groups that have just been terrific because you learn so much from other people and their work. And so I too like to see what's out there right now. And but the ideas come sometimes through the reading other people's work, frankly. And it's a lot of fun, and I found some really good editors along the way, and teachers are terrific. They point me in the direction of new titles, and so I've had some rich experiences with a variety of colleagues.
Well, Valerie, I want to raise my hand in support of board books. We love board books here at the Kindergarten Readiness Collaborative. I think they're a great resource for babies, and just they're so durable and lasting, and they really make sense for babies and toddlers. So if you are thinking along those lines, again, we raise our hands. We want to be, one of the first to preview or see your book. I want to make sure that I review again the 2 titles that we have here. And Valerie, I want you to share with our viewers and our listeners, how can they get copies of this? How can people reach you? Wonderful Things, The Big City Dance, or any other of your other publications?
Okay, thanks for that. I did put I have a Facebook page, a social media. We're on LinkedIn, but I also have an author page, and that's Valerie Doherty, like my name, Valerie Doherty, author.com. And I think those are listed here in the backs of the book. But they all, that website, I blog a little bit about topics of interest. I did on the Big City Dance. When it first came out, I integrated some lesson ideas. Certainly it's not in concrete, and teachers are so very skilled at using their own imaginations on crafting lessons around a title. But at any rate, I think it's mentioned in here, ValerieDohertyAuthor.com, and they all link to either online purchases or different stores. Both the publisher is in England, but of course you can buy there, or you can buy on other platforms that are mentioned on the website, and they are directly linked on that. So thanks for that, mentioning that. And I guess I really didn't read for you. Sorry about that. I got sidetracked here. But at any rate, those are how one can purchase the books. Thank you.
Well, Valerie, as we sign off, you can certainly read a page from The Big City Dance.
Okay. I will start off right here. I don't know about you, Nivea. Do you like to dance?
I love to dance. Love to dance.
Me too. So Mo Doodle was a mouse. He lived in a country town. One day he sat inside, his face had a country frown. "What's wrong?" asked his old pals. "Why are you looking so blue?" "I'm worn out and so bored. I just want something brand new. I want a big city. It's bright, exciting, and fun. Do you want to come too? The car can hold more than one." "Oh no," said his dear friends. "Boo-hoo, what will we all do? Will you come back sometime? We all know you'll miss us too." So then we carry on, and the page break was intentional so that they can guess, or whatever they might talk about. And, we built in some language that kids may or may not know. What's it mean? If you're blue, how do you think he's feeling, and why do you think that? And then there are tears that the animals are shown crying here, so the kids can build in. We can build in some of that social emotional piece as well.
Valerie, it has been a treat to have you on. Thank you so much for sharing your gift of writing with us. And we encourage parents or educators who are interested in these 2 titles. We're also going to post the information on our Facebook page, krc.org. Until next time, this has been Moonshot Radio, where every moment is an opportunity to learn.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.